Speaking of not loving what we've seen so far, someone pointed this out, and it was a question asked via the YouTube comments. You can do that. You can DM me at smalls_55 or at Locked On Ducks. Also, tweet with the hashtag AskLODPod. Get a question answered here on the show. This one comes in from James Smiley via YouTube. He said, "Does it seem like Noah Sewell is literally just standing flat footed almost every play? He never scraps to the ball anymore. He is just trying to catch people 48 yards down the field. He's not even close to an all Pac 12 performer so far. Let me know if you see differently." I haven't thought about this a ton, but I went back and watched and looked at what he was talking about. I kind of agree. I think it's partially problematic and partially not problematic. He does have just 5 total tackles in 2 games. For Noah Sewell, that's an alarmingly low rate. Now, Oregon defensively has missed a lot of tackles as a team, and that's been a recurring issue that has got to be cleaned up in a big way going into this weekend's game against BYU. Now, part of this could be the scheme that's coming from the defense, but Justin Flo leads the way with 12 tackles. So I think part of the reason his production is falling back a little bit is that Justin Flo is very active and he is a physically gifted guy. And Noah Sewell is as well. That's a first round caliber linebacker in Sewell. But Justin Flo has greater physical traits based on what I've seen. So maybe Flo is just minorly beating him to the punch. I do agree that Sewell has not been supremely active. And another aspect is that Sewell's strength is stopping the run. And the two teams we've seen so far, Georgia made a concerted effort to get the ball on the perimeter and go away from Oregon's strength on the defense, which is Noah Sewell and Justin Flo. And Eastern Washington has always been a pass happy offense, and they were an air first attack on Saturday at Autzen Stadium. What that does when you're throwing the ball a lot and getting it on the perimeter, it really minimizes the impact Noah Sewell can have in 2 ways. Number one, passing plays are not going to involve linebackers as often or give them opportunities to make plays and can reduce them to being blitzers if they're going to make an impact at all. But number two, what we've seen from Dan Lanning and company, and I don't fault them for this, is that Jeffrey Bassa has been on the field as the other linebacker in the 4-2-5 scheme pretty often to replace Noah Sewell because Bassa is far superior. He is easily Oregon's best coverage linebacker. I don't know that that's debatable. Justin Flo is still learning where he's supposed to be on a given play and such, but Sewell and Flo both are run stoppers first, pass defenders second, and Flo I think is clearly better in the eyes of this coaching staff. But Boss is above both of them from a pass coverage perspective because he has a smaller frame and he's just a little bit more nimble in that sense. So when you're going against a couple of teams that are throwing the ball a lot, I think it just sets up for Noah Sewell to not be as high of an impact player as we're accustomed to him seeing, paired with the notion that Justin Flo is also really good and makes a lot of tackles, so Noah Sewell hasn't had to. What we've seen in the last couple of seasons at times is Noah Sewell feels like a life preserver on the Oregon defense, and I think now his reduced role, I agree he's not been flying around with the sort of heat-seeking mentality we've been accustomed to. And I think part of that could be he might feel that he doesn't have to the way he did because he does have more help in guys like Justin Flo or Christian Gonzalez on the outside, or Jamal Hill has been very active in the run game as well on the back end of that Oregon defense. So I think it's something to watch, and I think it's half concern and half just scheme related, right? Because he hasn't made the sort of impact plays we're used to. You know, last year against Ohio State had the big stop on 4th and 2 and had a couple of other really nice moments in that game. But what this staff is seeing is that pass coverage is not his strength, and they want to put their best pass defenders on the field when they think it's going to be a throwing situation. And we'll see how BYU balances that out and how they can try and neutralize him as a defensive player because they have a really good quarterback with a big time arm in Jaron Hall, a guy who we'll be talking about as the week goes on. But I think that's what you're seeing. So love the question. Keep them coming leading into this week and beyond. Can't wait. I appreciate everyone listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And wait a minute, I almost forgot one quick thing, and I didn't want to forget, and I didn't want to go back and edit it. Couple of injury notes. Seven McGee, he tweeted something encouraging about can't wait for this again. I heard from someone who covers the team that it was just a cramp. That is not official. That is, repeat, that is not official, but it does not appear to be a devastating situation. We'll see when the Ducks practice and more reports come out what the official word is there. Ryan Walk, not sure what his availability is going to be, but Marcus Harper so far has been serviceable at least and an above average replacement at best at times through the games that he's filled in, and he made his first career start Saturday against Eastern Washington. And perhaps most importantly, Justin Flo isn't hurt yet. Those are your injury updates, at least that we've got for now. I appreciate everyone listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Ducks.